Once dismissed as the world's most unstable region, the Sahel, a vast belt stretching across Africa from Senegal to Sudan, is rewriting its destiny. Today, it's not just a battlefield against terrorism or poverty. It's becoming the epicenter of Africa's next geopolitical transformation. In 2024, three nations, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, stunned the world. They withdrew from the regional bloc ECOWAS and announced the creation of a new political and defense pact, the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES. Their message was bold and clear: we will solve our own security problems, on our own terms. The Sahel's shift isn't just local, it's global. With the French military withdrawing after a decade-long campaign, a new scramble for influence began. Russia, Turkey, China, and even Middle Eastern powers have moved in, each vying for strategic partnerships, resources, and military access. The Sahel is now a chessboard of competing global interests, where African leaders are trying to play the game, not be played. For nearly a decade, foreign military missions, most notably France's Operation Barkhane, were a constant presence across the Sahel. Their convoys rumbled through dusty roads, their soldiers patrolled vast stretches of desert, and their leaders promised to bring stability to a region racked by violence. The international community watched closely, hoping that these interventions would turn the tide against chaos and extremism. Yet, despite years of foreign involvement, Islamist insurgencies only grew more entrenched. From the arid plains of Mali to the borders of Niger and Burkina Faso, violence spread like wildfire. Rural villages burned, families fled their homes, and entire communities were left in fear. The promise of peace seemed to slip further away with each passing year, as new groups emerged and old ones adapted, exploiting local grievances and porous borders. Frustration simmered among the population, but it was the young officers within national armies who finally acted. Disillusioned by persistent corruption, a lack of security, and the sense that their countries were being dictated to by foreign powers, these officers staged a series of coups. In city squares and on national television, they declared a new era, one that put sovereignty above all else. Their message was clear: Africans would take charge of their own destiny, free from external interference. Now, under the banner of the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, these new leaders are forging a different path. They are betting that regional cooperation, built on shared interests and mutual trust, but without the presence of Western troops, can finally restore order. Joint military exercises, intelligence sharing, and coordinated patrols are becoming the new norm. The hope is that, by working together as equals, these nations can address the root causes of instability and reclaim control over their own security. But this new doctrine is not without its critics. Many warn that military unity does not automatically translate into political legitimacy or lasting peace. Civilian protesters, political activists, and international observers question whether military-led governments can truly represent the will of the people. The road ahead is uncertain, and the stakes are high. As the Sahel's leaders gamble on sovereignty first, the world watches to see if this bold experiment can deliver the security and stability that has long eluded the region. In the wake of shifting alliances and the retreat of traditional Western powers, a new set of global players is stepping into the Sahel's power vacuum. Russia, for instance, has moved in assertively, offering not just arms, but also military advisors, security contractors, and political support to governments and factions seeking new partners. Russian flags now flutter in cities where, just a few years ago, Western influence was dominant. The Kremlin's strategy is clear: to expand its reach and secure a foothold in a region rich in resources and strategic value. Russian soldiers and advisors are seen training local troops, and their presence is increasingly visible in both urban centers and remote outposts. Meanwhile, China is taking a different approach, one that's quieter, but no less ambitious. Chinese companies and engineers are investing heavily in mining operations, extracting gold, uranium, and other valuable minerals. But it doesn't stop there. China is also building roads, bridges, and digital networks, weaving itself into the fabric of the Sahel's future. These infrastructure projects are transforming skylines and connecting remote communities, all while deepening economic ties between Beijing and African capitals. France, once the region's dominant outside power, is now scaling down its military presence. But Paris hasn't disappeared from the scene. Instead, French diplomats are working behind the scenes, lobbying within ECOWAS and other regional organizations, hoping to maintain influence through political and economic channels, even as troops withdraw. The legacy of France's long involvement in the Sahel still shapes many of the region's institutions and alliances. And the United States? Washington is watching events unfold with a wary eye, concerned about losing ground to rivals like Russia and China. American officials are recalibrating their approach, weighing the risks and opportunities of deeper engagement versus strategic withdrawal. Surveillance drones and diplomatic envoys signal that, while the U.S. may be less visible on the ground, it's far from indifferent to the region's fate. For the people of the Sahel, this new mix of influences is already reshaping daily life. Markets buzz with goods from new trading partners, city skylines change with foreign-built infrastructure, and leaders weigh their options on the global stage. Young Africans connected by smartphones and social media are more aware than ever of the shifting tides. In this era of new powers and new rules, the question is, who will Africa listen to, and who will it choose to ignore? The Sahel is rich in what the world wants most: gold, uranium, lithium, and other minerals that are essential for powering the modern global economy. These resources aren't just valuable, they're absolutely critical for everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to nuclear power and renewable energy storage. Beneath the sun-baked earth of the Sahel, vast reserves of these minerals lie waiting, drawing the attention of governments and corporations from every corner of the globe. But it's not just what's underground that matters. The Sahel's wide-open spaces and relentless sunshine make it a prime location for solar energy projects. As the world races to transition away from fossil fuels, the region's potential to generate clean, renewable power has become a new kind of gold rush. International investors and local leaders alike see the Sahel as a future powerhouse for green energy, capable of lighting up cities far beyond Africa's borders. This surge of interest has made the region geopolitically priceless. Whoever controls these resources, whether it's gold, uranium, lithium, or the land itself, holds a key piece of the world's green economy puzzle. For the Alliance of Sahel States, this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a chance to transform their economies, create jobs, and build a more prosperous future. On the other, it brings the risk of exploitation, environmental damage, and a new kind of dependency on foreign powers and multinational corporations. The stakes are enormous: prosperity and self-determination, or a repeat of old patterns where wealth flows out and local communities are left behind. The choices made now will shape not just the Sahel, but the future of global energy itself. Many Africans see the Sahel's real struggle as one for dignity. Young citizens demand jobs, justice, and a voice in governance, not just new flags or alliances. The Sahel's power shift isn't just about military pacts. It's about Africans redefining sovereignty in the 21st century. The question now is simple, yet monumental. Can the Alliance of Sahel States turn military strength into political stability and economic progress? Can the Sahel rise as Africa's next power center? Or will it remain trapped between rival ambitions? The answer will shape Africa's future, and honestly, the world's next chapter of geopolitics. The Sahel story is still being written, but for the first time in a long time, it's being written by Africans themselves.